sister.
Oh, the hell?
That video with what you call it?
Sunday sitting with sisters.
It's okay. David Banner. What's the church? That video, David Banner video.
Steady Love with India video with him.
Oh, yeah. All right, get ready to live in half a minute. Okay. You turned your power cord on,
How do you turn it on?
in the
So it says off on.
Just press it.
Yeah. We have to adjust the sound. So I'm hearing an echo.
Does it take batteries? Because it's speaking, but it's.
Let me see. And here. Excuse me, Nana. Sorry.
sorry.
Here you go. Talking to it. Talking to it. Hello. Hello. Here you go.
Do I need to turn it down? No, you can't. I gotta do it from here.
Okay.
So, I think I do it from here.
Echo. Maybe I'm too close on it. Okay. Okay. I think we should be fine. Move my hands a bit. Okay. That's on the other outlets. That ain't on the main one yet. Yeah, this is, I always start them ahead of time. That's better. Water anyway?
I think it went off
Yours did?
when the light is on.
So you hear yourself?
I can hear me. Hear me, but I don't hear it.
Where's your mic? Move your mic up. Is it?
Since you going in this order,
I'm not sure. It depends on how we talk. What you say though? No?
Nope.
Is the light on?
Yep.
Okay, let me see how that's gonna work. Talking to it? Hello. I must have something for what I did. Hold on. Okay. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Sorry if that's that again. Can you hear yourself? Talk.
Hello.
Keep going.
Hello.
Talk. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Okay. Okay, I think I'm because I'm up on close it. Talk now. Hello. Good morning. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah. Let's see how we go. Okay. This is mainly for when the church gets to cracking. Right. Can use one thing. Talking noise? Hello.
It's not.
Well, I think there it is. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I can.
yeah.
Hello, 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 hello. Mr. Dream Lover. Mr. Dream Lover.
Dana, talking your mic? All right, good. You good. All right. Let's see.
Testing. Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, let's get started. I'm gonna hit the start button. And we are live.
We are live. Good
Peace,
morning,
family.
good morning.
Welcome to Sunday Sitting with Sisters. I'm your girl, Dana Maisha. This is Dr. Strong. And this is Earth Mama Healing herself, Mama Ro.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah, we're good, doing good. All
Hi.
right.
How was your week?
Fantastic.
Yeah, my week was actually
Terrific.
good. She said
That's from the freedom
terrific.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Oh,
really good.
that's good. Well,
Yeah.
how was your week, Doctor? What did you do?
You know what? My week.
Oh, wait, y'all hold it. Sorry. My bag.
Your bag.
Yeah, I got the all over you. Okay, hold on. We're gonna go live.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to hit which medium. And we are live at 5, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Peace, family.
Peace, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes. Welcome to Sunday Sitting with Sisters. I got my girl, Dr. Strong,
Peace. Good morning.
and my other girl, Mama Ro, Earth Mama
Peace,
Healing
peace,
herself.
Yes,
And I'm your
yes.
girl, Dana Maisha. I think I said that. I said that. Thank you.
No, you didn't
Yep.
introduce yourself.
Come
It's
on
good. It's
now.
you.
Okay.
It's you.
Okay. All right. How was your week? What did you do, Doctor?
This. Okay.
You ain't here, so just raise your headset. Just raise it all over.
All right, y'all. I'm
Go ahead. We don't do it yet. So go
we
ahead.
gotta learn the curve here with this speaker.
Yeah.
Might
Just keep going.
keep going.
Yeah.
So this week I
I think you have to
take it off.
Yep, keep talking. There you go.
Okay.
So,
Peace, Deborah.
Yeah,
Peace,
sorry about
Colette.
that,
We're working out some
oh,
things.
that's okay. That's okay. Well, Ro, how was your week?
It was great. A lot of awesome stuff happening.
Uh-huh.
So grateful.
Mm.
A whole bunch of stuff happening. Yesterday was the Grant Black graduation. It was their BSU's Black graduation. I was so
Nice.
happy to be one of the co-MCs or mistress of ceremony or whatever you call it. And their principal is a Black man, Brother Darius Hinton, bomb principal. I love what he's doing with our young people. And it ain't easy being a principal, but it ain't easy being a Black principal trying to make sure your kids get everything that they need.
Right.
And celebrating Black youth and their accomplishments in terms of finishing school. And it was incredible. It was a packed house. A lot of young people came. It was almost as double as it was last year. And
Nice.
last year they only had 2 young African-American males that showed up. This year, half of them was African American males. So that was awesome.
Nice.
And what I loved about it is that they not only, they definitely gave some kudos to the young brothers who was there, but also the brothers gave some kudos to the sisters for holding it down. See, that meant a lot coming from men. Don't really mean that coming from women, because women just, we don't really appreciate each other like that. But it means something when men recognize that as women, we hold them down. So more of them came. And it was just absolutely beautiful. I was so honored and so blessed just to be in attendance. Like, there is something about being in the house, in the building, when we are celebrating each other and celebrating our accomplishments. You know what I mean? And having such balance. Now, the keynote was a brother that was a doctor, but he also was an alumni of Grant. The brother was brilliant. Plus, he was fine as hell. There's nothing like seeing a good-looking, well-melanated black man, fine as hell, but talking about his accomplishments. And him and Brother Darius go all the way back to when they was at Grant in the late 80s. And Brother graduated in 1990, and he's doing fantastic stuff. The administrator for schools. I mean, it was incredible. And I just felt so blessed and so honored just to be in their presence, but also, of course, these brothers here pulling it off, but also was two black women in particular. I think it was three. I can't remember his name, but I know Miss Brown and Miss Washington. What I find out with a lot of schools is that usually there's always some black woman in the back doing a lot of work, keeping our kids engaged, making sure they have access to stuff. I can name several schools where they have a black woman in there getting it in. She may be a receptionist or a teacher. So once again, these sisters, I think they're a counselor, and I can't remember what the other sisters do, but they're there holding Grant down. And Grant comes from a community that has a lot of richness and a lot of history and a lot of roots. So I'm always feeling so honored when I could do anything in Del Paso Heights, particularly at Grant, because black folks out there, they've been there for a good minute. They did not just show up last night. So I just feel so blessed and so honored. They're like my official adopted community, if you will, my home away from home. And I just was so blessed to see all of these people in attendance come out, and just the pouring of love to these young people was so, so incredible. So I did a lot of stuff this week, but that was like the main thing that happened yesterday. And again, I just love when we do culture, and we do it naturally. So there was a lot of the keynote guy was so awesome. Just the words he shared with everybody was just incredible. Like, I was just so blown away. So anyhow, Brother Keon taped a little bit of it because we co-MC together, which was great, bringing in that balance, male, female. And I could do anything with Keon. Keon's so laid back because he don't have ego. So he just kind of flow. He just flows. So big ups to Grant High School. Go Pacers. It was beautiful, beautiful. And I put some pictures up that you can see our people was in the house. So I just think it's special when you see us in the house celebrating our young people, because they really are the bomb. And without them, we can't get nothing done. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, it's nice to talk and all that, but it's your outcome. I look at where people that you have touched, where they have gone. And I can tell with the guy that was the keynote, the principal is an alumni of Grant. The women who helped in the background, they are alumni of Grant. It's alumni field up in Grant and in Del Paso Heights. So big up. That was my yes. I know it was kind of long. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I was so proud of these young people. It was such a variation too. That was the other thing. They just didn't have all the bad kids or all the super smart kids. It was a mixture of young people, because at the end of the day, all you can do is just stand as yourself. Don't nobody even care about the other stuff or your background or where you're from. We just celebrated and lifted them all up. So big ups to Grant High School and their Black graduation, man. Nobody does it when we do it for ourselves. So that was my yesterday. What about you, Dana?
Oh, I had a good day. I had a good week, actually. Learning a lot, constantly learning my lessons. Had a great time at the pop-up this week. The community is showing support. I'm talking about all things literacy, books, and more. So that was good. Boys in the Hood was good. Getting a lot of participation and lots of different feedbacks. Did a lot of networking at the barbecue wars yesterday, North versus South. There was a lot of people there. The North, I want to say, took most, and I hope that I'm not misspeaking, but I think the North took most, but I know the South did win some stuff. I wasn't, those of you who know me, I wasn't so honed in on the competition part. I was out, you know, in the crowd, but I think they got more trophies. It was really good. We had some live performances and lots of elders, multi-generational people. And a couple elders came and talked to me. I was able to chat with them, and they talked about how they used to get down in the 60s and 70s and how people used to get together all of the time. And they were just saying how it just felt like how it, you know, felt, I guess it felt deja vu. For us, it was just like, it was amazing. And big shout out to Aisha and her business partner, Ragu. You guys did an amazing job, and I look forward to next year. I'm grateful for all the love that was shown to Boys in the Hood, because we had lots of donations our way. More than that, the Boys in the Hood got a lot of exposure and just real authentic networking, which is always good. So that was good. Then last night we closed the night with the community pop-up at the Fruit Ridge Collaborative. That's Voice of the Youth Community Collaborative. They focused on art, visual art, and so Shona McDaniels came through and put her magic touch on different things. So it was really good. Today I'm looking forward to She Could Be My Daughter sex trafficking event. It will be at the Macro Community Center. I think that's what they call it. It's or maybe it's Valley High Community Center. It's over on Center Parkway. There's going to be a luncheon and just bringing awareness to that area about how to spot a sex trafficker.
Right
So
on.
yeah,
That's important. So it's interesting. You speak of elders. I had the pleasure of attending a funeral, and you said, "God, a pleasure attending a funeral."
yeah,
Yes, a pleasure. This man was 92 years old.
yeah.
You know, funerals, we know we're all gonna have one or have to attend one in our lifetime.
Right.
But to hear is an elder, 92 years old, from Ghana, was a doctor. This Dr. Sawyer. This brother, man, I mean, I had the pleasure of meeting him last year at a wedding, and I went with someone, and I was going to be sitting by myself because the person I was with was performing. But this black man was so like, he just was. I mean, I hung out with him the whole night. I was at the same table, but to read this man's bio, first of all, from Ghana, was along Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana when they got their independence. You know, then he helped with that, and then from there he went to Russia. He had a scholarship, and he got a master's and a doctorate in veterinary medicine and sciences. Did his whole dissertation in Russian. Nice. Okay. Went back to Ghana, worked there some more, then came to America, came to the Bay. And what was so impressive about this elder for me is here is a man that every time a Ghanaian would come to the United States, they had his name in their pocket. So if anything went wrong, they could reach out to this elder. I mean, it was walks of life up in there. It just wasn't, you know, I mean, it was people from all over the place. And so here we go again. Elders in our community, 92 years old. Most of us will never know what it's like to be 92, be 62, be 52. This guy was 92 years old.
Right.
So it was absolutely a pleasure and an honor to attend his service. So, and it was an outpouring. Like he just did all kind of, still had his garden right up till he left. When his knees went bad, he had his garden raised up. I think you can learn a lot from an elder. Of this caliber.
Yeah.
I felt so blessed to just be sitting in his presence. I mean, the time that I have, but even in his transitioning to the ancestors, it was still right there. Like who he was great in life. He made me think about the anchor. Sometimes most of us don't have a lot of grounding because we don't have no anchors. We don't know any anchors. Right. We weren't anchored by anybody. We just kind of out there floating. We pick up philosophies. We put down philosophies. We pick up, we like somebody. We pick up, we don't like them because they want to hear the wrong part on the side or whatever. I don't know. But right. Here's a man who was an anchor for a whole community. So the Ghanaian community, you know, and this guy died last month, April the 19th, but he was born in 1927. So to live to be 92 and to have all of these great things that he's done, I just felt blessed to be in the presence of his celebration, his homegoing. So when you said that about the elder, it immediately made me think of even attending that. And his celebration of life is like 4 days. So it was Thursday, like a wake, and then Friday was the actual funeral. Then yesterday was like a celebration, like a party or whatever. And then today everybody's going to church if that's what you do. So I was like, wow, like I could see that. You know, I could totally see that. This person was a giant. We're gonna be partying like it's 1999 up here. Like, you know, he was a great elder. And there is something to be said when people come to the planet and put in so much work. So much work. The mayor of the city, not East Palo Alto was there and did a proclamation. You know, he had extended family and his children, and just spoke to his testament. Because the truth of the matter is, at the end, it's like, how will people really see you? Not what you thought about your damn self.
Right.
You know, that ain't nothing. You could think of yourself as being great. You could be, you know, the bomb. But how will people remember you? How will we share you with the yet to be born people who've never looked upon this man's face? Will feel his spirit and the benefit of who he was. We have a whole Ghanaian community here who are thriving, by the way. They're thriving. And it's really because of elders like him who stood the test of time. Somebody from the original political party in Ghana was there and got up and spoke about how he influenced the young people for them to go and do what they went and did. So this person was like in their 70s. So, you know, of course, to them, you know, he's still like he young, you know what I mean? And, you know, so it was beautiful to be able to live that long and then to be sitting in this person's funeral and seeing the celebration of life. I just felt so blessed and so honored. You know what I mean? Maybe reflect on my own, like, where am I really going? Some of the bullshit I'm participating in, I'm not doing that no more. I gotta reshape this. I'm 47 years old. I can't be up here doing stuff that I did when I was 28. Like, it ain't that time of day right now. So I think, so going to stuff like that for me helps me to reflect on where I need to be.
So that was a good funeral.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. I remember my mom used to say that was a good funeral.
Yeah.
I know exactly what she means.
Man, So anyway, so that was, I only went to one of the days and celebrate. I couldn't do all 4 because they had to keep driving to the bay.
Right. Okay.
So that was just all like, you know, and then one day there was an accident on the freeway. So, you know, we shut down that whole 5, like around Stockton or somewhere. It was all, you know, it was bad, but it was like, just bless it. So that was a part of my week that sometimes you have moments where you just feel like, you're good for what you've done, but you feel like every now and then in your life, I think it's okay to make adjustments. I do. I feel like, you know what? Okay, so that's cool. Can't be mad about X, Y, and Z. You know, you just got to make some adjustments. It's supposed to happen so you can learn your life lesson.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it.
And you have to elevate because you don't want to be a paralytic or be still. You have to elevate. So movement and adjusting.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Because if you're not growing, you're down.
But also, I had to say, I had to pick me up this week when I seen that video of David Banner in the Ivory. So that picked me up. I mean,
it picked me up too.
I was like, you know. She said that's what she was trying to do. I don't know if you read the article.
Yes.
But she said that's what she was trying to do to spark Black love. And let's just be honest. It was 2 very melanated people in love, going through the ups and downs. And then they was welcoming the baby and they was getting married. I was like, shit. You know, a lot of Black women want to have that. I ain't talking about people, if you don't want to get married, have no kids, this ain't for you. Because sometimes I get tired of people raining on other people because maybe that's not what they want to do. If somebody wants to do that, they should be celebrated. We should be making a way for them to do that. The same way we make a way for people to be a lamppost. You know what I mean? So, I mean. But what y'all think about that video?
Oh, I love the video. I've been singing the song for over a month. So that's like my theme song right now. That's my theme song.
Yeah, I love that video.
Why'd you love the video?
Well, first of all, I love love. I love love. And in the video, they exuded love. I love how she spoke about in the song, how they complimented each other. And I just thought it was beautiful. I mean, it's everything. It embodied everything you would want in a relationship, you know? And I like when she said that, you know, even when I'm paraphrasing, but
Sorry.
even when it's bad or when, you know, stuff happens, I want to do it with you.
Right.
And that's a beautiful thing, to be able to share your world and to share your life, share the good and share the bad with somebody. I mean, that's what's up. I love it.
Yeah.
Mhm. I even, you know how when you watch, I kept pushing replay. You know how when you watch so much, I think it went to the YouTube version, and you see the other songs that come up. I was like, hey. So it's kind of almost like I got reacquainted with India Irie, because I don't think I've been
Right on.
really acquainted with her since Brown Skin, and y'all know that was a
Oh,
long time
Lord,
ago.
girl.
Yeah,
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 that is a long time.
uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
wow.
What about you, Dr. Strong?
Well,
She said, well,
You know, I've been singing. It's like on replay. It's been on replay. Steady Love,
oh yeah,
right?
keep it steady.
The way that he looks at me when he holds my
Yes.
hand, he wants everyone to know that I'm his woman
All
and
right.
he's my man.
All right now.
You know what I love?
Steady love,
Steady. Keep it steady.
steady
Rock steady.
love.
You know what I
Yeah.
You know what I love the best when she, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but when she said that she's a boss in his world, but when boss in her world, but when she is with him, she just have to be his girl.
He makes her feel.
Yes.
His girl.
Yes.
It's like she don't have to put on any pretenses.
Right on.
You know,
She don't have to apologize for being a boss.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's it.
That part.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I don't have to apologize for being a boss.
I love it. So, and with that being said, so
Yes,
I want
yes.
to give a shout out to my cousin. Her and her husband just got married.
Oh,
And, they
congratulations.
just up there, and they're on their way to Hawaii for their honeymoon. So that's real black love. They
Yes.
real black love. So I feel like it's hard to highlight some real black love.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think imagery is important. So we need to see black people loving each other. We need to see videos, music videos where everybody looks like themselves. You know, there is something about seeing two black people really loving on each other unapologetically. Not having to consider how it's gonna make other people feel.
Right.
You know, shit.
Right.
If you love somebody, you love somebody. You
I
know,
know.
I'm talking about in the black world. 'Cause
Right.
we'll celebrate the loving case, but forget that black people weren't allowed to be married to each other.
Right.
That's
right.
how crazy the world is. So I think we gotta celebrate black love.
Yeah.
I agree.
And people who find that love.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's almost like a rarity sometimes.
Right.
That we don't always get to see people get their love story, as Sister Javon says.
Yes.
You know, she talks about black women getting that love story. They used to get on my nerves when she said that. She was Javon, like, we got it. But here's the truth about it. I believe what she said, though.
Yeah.
I do believe we need to have that love story.
Right.
So when you see one of us get it, we gotta like be grateful and celebrate that. Because to me, that's important. So I hope they have a great, great, great honeymoon.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's
Love
what
it.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's it. I love those shirts.
So yeah. So real quick, so you know that there has been a new picture of Harriet Tubman
Mm-hmm.
that's been discovered. Have y'all seen it?
I seen what you said.
Yeah. So this I'm gonna put it up on the screen. So it's a new
I wanna
picture. It's
say
gonna
it
be
was
on display. It's gonna be up in a minute. It's gonna be on display at a museum, and man, she looks very elegant.
Oh,
Hair,
nice.
you know, she has a beautiful dress on. There she is, right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful dress on. Because usually we see Harriet Tubman with a shotgun or
Yeah.
that famous one with her sitting in the chair.
Oh,
She has a lot
yeah.
of business, so I'm not, you know.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that she had a time to like take a picture, you know, and we get to see her in another light. Because I
Right.
think sometimes with black leaders, you know, we always see them angry and mad and but I know that's like Malcolm X, like to have him smile on you. When Ozzie Davis said that in his
Yes.
eulogy, it's like a lot of people don't really know that about Malcolm
Right.
X, and he actually smiled. That sounds kind of ignorant, but I didn't make that up. We do
Right.
kind of see people. We don't know that we don't see them sometimes as human and having every human emotion possible. So that's just nice to see this picture of Sister Harriet, one of my heroes.
Yes.
Like I love her. She's right up
Absolutely.
there with my mom. So,
She's a boss.
so I really
Love
love
a
her.
boss.
So y'all did see. What was y'all thoughts when you seen the picture of her? What's your thoughts?
Well, I just thought that, like what you said, I thought that she I thought it was a nice rendition of her. You know,
Mhm.
I really did. A lot, like I said, and I agree with you. Lots of times when we do see Black leaders, they are, you know, you get them in all of their rage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You know, and especially if you live in sound bites or
Yeah.
then you only really, you're not getting the whole person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was great.
What about you, Dr.
It's a really nice picture of her, and I don't know, the thought that comes to my mind with all the stuff that she was doing and how she was shaking and moving. I'm like, how did she have time to even
to take a picture?
take a picture like
Right
that, just to
on.
sit there? Okay, hurry up, y'all, because I got work to do. You know, but it shows her calm and you know, just ready. She looks like she's ready.
So as we talk about our dear sister Harriet Tubman, it brings me to this conversation around reparations. Should reparations be off the table? Do you think we don't deserve reparations at this point? Because we kind of blended into America.
I think that we need resurrection. Why I said resurrection, but that's really what it would offer. I believe that we definitely deserve reparations. I believe that it's a lot of people putting in work to try to make up and adjust for the inequity. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what reparations would offer is equity. I don't think we would ever, when we talk about equality, I don't even think that's possible without equity. You get what I'm saying? Because we're all starting from a different playing field. You get what I'm saying? So absolutely. And I believe that we could do some good work with reparations.
So there's been a conversation that theologian makes biblical case for why white Christians need to support reparations.
Yeah. That's
what y'all think about that. I didn't make that up. What y'all think about that? I'll get you.
Oh, I thought we was going.
But
what y'all think about that? I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of quiet on it.
I know because it's one of those things where, and I could be wrong, but it's a plea, I think, which is probably a valid one. But the reality is that them supporting, but it goes back to this thing that if they don't support it, it doesn't move forward. You know what I mean? And so that's how, and that just could be by the small thinking of it. But it is a reality that. But it will cause them to, if white Christians or white people, however you want to say it, say, okay, we support reparations, then that's also going to be them acknowledging the horrific acts outside of just seeing history, right? They have to see their lineage part in all of it. In order to really say, okay, we're going to support reparations. It's unfair that they have not been compensated for all of these behaviors that their ancestors endured. Because when you look at most other races, if you will, and we know races is all made up, but other races, when things like that have happened to their communities or their race, some type of reparation or amends has been made so that they can, be able to do what they need to do in order to thrive and to survive. So those are my thoughts on it.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that's a heavy one.
Do you think it'll make a difference?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I do. And I'm not saying, with or without them, we still should get reparations.
Right. Yes.
But I do think if you want to try to heal yourself and be close to Jesus to thee, you need to be very honest about your participation in the enslavement and the desecration and the lynching and the terror of a people
Yeah.
who now are stuck playing catch up every damn second of their life.
Right.
Right.
Not having the culture, not having, yeah, hell yeah. I think they should, but if they don't, I'm old school. No, one monkey or monkeys don't stop no show. So
That's
Right.
right.
I don't have to be a monkey's uncle because I'm not.
Right.
So what you got? Read it up.
So, white Christians need to get behind a growing movement pushing for reparations for African Americans because it is a biblical principle endorsed by Jesus himself. Associate professor at Princeton Theological Seminary, Kiri Day, recently contended. Day, who launches constructive theology, Day, who teaches constructive theology and African American religion at the Ivy League Seminary, made the argument earlier this month in a lecture at the historic Riverside Church in Manhattan. She defended. Okay, I know.
I think she goes there a lot. Go ahead.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay, I write it. I know. She defended her argument using the story of Zacchaeus, the tax collector. When we turn to the gospel, we see that Jesus is clear that reparations or restitution to those who have been exploited and rendered vulnerable is not optional but required. Consider Jesus' encounter with Zacchaeus in Luke 19, Day said. Zacchaeus is a tax collector who has participated in Roman imperial oppression against marginalized Jewish populations. Jesus sits with Zacchaeus, but is clear with Zacchaeus on what his reparative response needed to be, and that this reparative response, as Zacchaeus was tasked to do, was not simply and only a political response, but was more deeply a theological response, she explained. Okay, in this encounter with Zacchaeus, I want to suggest that Jesus sets forth a reparations ethic. Zacchaeus is expected to give back that which he has stolen so that he can be reconciled with others and God. Reconciliation cannot occur until he has given back what he has stolen.
Well, there's a comment. So Sister Dana is in theologian school, I believe. You see her comment on that?
She says the denominations benefited from slavery as well. She says, and their denominations push theology to justify slavery. Okay, so she's talking about the oppressor.
So do you think that the descendants of people who enslaved people, do you think they're really responsible?
I think that they definitely benefit. So I think that, I think they are responsible. I hate to.
That's a good question.
No. When I say I hate to say that, I don't hate to say that. But you know how we all, like when somebody in our family does something, we don't want to be judged by what that family member has done. However, in this case, I think that financially they have benefited. I mean, all of the wealth that was labored by our ancestors has been with them. It has been with them. So, yeah, sorry, not sorry.
Right. I agree, and you can take it. So I'm gonna just be super basic. So if with this, because it can go as simple as if you're gonna hold my children responsible for my bills when I die, right? They are responsible.
Say that again.
Your family is responsible for your bills when you die. So that's some stuff that you created, that you did that was possibly wrong, because if you got some debt, because that's what that is. When we talk about reparations, it's talking about a debt that your behavior has created. The things that you've done or have not done, that created a debt. Because our ancestors did not get paid for that labor. So that is a debt, right? So if that is a debt, because your ancestors, your family is now dead, you are now responsible for that debt. And that's my thought on it.
Look, I agree with you, honestly. I totally agree with you. I feel like all that they benefit from, they need to either get that up, which we know that they're not going to do
Right.
because they don't see it that way.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like us always wanting the good part, but not the bad part. So they want all the benefits of them thinking that they did all this wonderful stuff. But when it came to paying the debt, then it's a problem.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
Don't answer the phone, Mikey.
Yeah. So I do think that reparations should not be off the table. But I don't know if a Hotep Negroes should get reparations because they, according to them,
Well, break down the hotel. Negro.
you know, those who like build pyramids and stuff and their descendants are here.
Oh.
People who skip over slavery and say
Right.
that their ancestors were not enslaved. And, you know, I'm telling you, I think reparations, if you listen to me, the powers that be, we can make this really simple. You know, if you follow Negroes and they said they weren't black and they didn't have no descendants who weren't enslaved and they from the South and they Native American and all that, look, that'll cut out at least 2/3 of us.
Right.
So now you got to worry about the 1/3.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then Negroes who basically got scholarships and stuff like that to your universities and they owe debt, put that on there, and then you have to pay them as much because they did okay in your system.
Right.
I think there are ways, if we really know about this, how this system came to be, these people could be very creative and giving you reparations, but the click will be, and this is what y'all would have to understand, that means you can't bring this up ever again.
Mm-hmm.
So if I give you money, you can't bring it up ever again.
Right.
Then you can't be blaming white people when you don't get that loan because you should have took the money and built your own bank with it.
Right. In school. Mm-hmm.
Your whole
And
society.
create your own curriculum.
And then some of the people are like straight from the motherland, so they don't get no money. Not trying to say like that, because they, you know, so I do think there's a difference. I know that we're all Pan-African and all that beautiful, but it's like if Jamaica get reparations from Britain, I don't get to go over there and get money. That's for the people in Jamaica, because that's how they did it. So I think there's, and I'm not even mad at that, but I think we gotta really, I think if they wanted to really wipe some things clean, they could just act like we're gonna give y'all this money. But don't you Negroes dare bring up slavery again and then make us feel bad about it, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
You know, I don't know.
Another thing too, if they throw some, another thing too, if they throw some money at it, that's not gonna make them love you either.
Yeah.
That don't necessarily mean that you're not gonna get that's not gonna take care of that part.
But you know, they used to make fun of Asian people, Chingy Chong Chong and Snyder Isaac, and they own damn near half of America.
Right.
So they don't really give a damn what you think about them.
So yeah,
They love
get away
themselves,
from-
honestly. They want to be with each other. So I think part of it is you can give us the money, but I think what's happened to our brain and our self-hatred, there's no dollar amount can fix that.
Right.
That's an inside job. Or y'all may have to walk around for 40 years and die out. Oops, sorry, that's not the Bible. You may have to like do some things to die out because you know that's just not gonna work.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. Sister Danielle is in here, y'all. Y'all see her in the
I
comments. I'm
see
trying
it.
not to-
Family.
And she said
So-
reparations before reconciliation. I'm with you on that, sis.
Yes.
I'm damn sure with you on
Right. So she says, she got quite a
That's
few of
true.
them in here. She
She's
says,
in
Sister
it.
Rose, during the process of elimination with Negroes. Got that? Nope, we will always bring it up.
I would just say that could be a clause. Because they always got a clause.
Yeah.
White people always be clauses in their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
She also
yeah.
said the debt from the labor of our ancestors contribute to where they are today.
Yeah.
I don't think
Mhm.
white folks even know the real history. I agree with you, but I think they know something. They know they didn't build it.
Right.
But I agree with you. Debbie Allen said yes.
Yeah.
Deborah Allen
Yeah.
said yes. She said, you read that one already. No, we'll always bring it up. That's true. I'm not saying you can't bring it up, but I'm saying, but they will be like, if you don't get along, you can't look at race. They always they do that now. When you get a certain
Right.
education, like 5 of y'all got into Harvard. Well, hey, we got black people here. We got 5 out of 200,000 people at Harvard. We got 4 Negroes, and look, ain't nothing wrong with that. Y'all included.
Right.
So I'm just being facetious when I say that, y'all. Truth and reparations before reconciliation, right on.
Yeah.
And she said they never tell the Jews not to bring up the Holocaust, but they want us not to speak of our history. That's
Right.
true. But you know what I love about the Jews? They don't give a damn. They're gonna do it anyway.
They gonna do it
triple
anyway.
dog dare you.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They'll
Right.
triple dog dare you to tell them not to say them, about their stuff.
They
And I ain't
right.
mad at them. I
Me
ain't mad.
neither.
I just
No,
want us
me
to have
neither.
some of that Zionism in our spirit
Yeah.
for our own self. I don't know what we would call it, but they go all the way in.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I did.
Right.
I know that sound kind of like, because we get to this thing where we do dignity, sorry. We do dignity. So we want to be dignified in our approach,
Right.
which means we don't get shit done. Because
Yeah.
you can't never cast dignity as a check, or you can't really save your people with dignity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But now we're gonna go to it's the 65th anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education.
Yes.
Now that's
Yes.
a good kind of conversation. David, tell us what's going on with that.
Okay. It has
For
been,
reparations.
yeah, all right. It has been 65 years since Brown versus Board of Education, the landmark Supreme Court case, was ruled segregated schools are unconstitutional. But a recent study reveals that Black students remain segregated in classrooms and schools across the country. The study by the University of California in Los Angeles, the Civil Rights Project, and Penn State University Center for Education and Civil Rights highlights that while the nation's students' population has grown more diverse in the past 30 years, segregation for Black students has gotten worse. There's powerful research that shows that the Supreme Court was right. Segregated schools are unequal for many reasons that we're not making progress. Gary Orfield, a professor at UCLA and the co-director of the Civil Rights Project, told ABC News. Orfield said his group has been studying segregation since the project was created more than 2 decades ago. We've been going back ever since the early 1990s when the Supreme Court changed directions and allowed the dissolution of desegregation plans. We really don't have a strategy in place to deal with this issue, even though we're now a country with no racial majority in our public schools, he said.
Really? No racial majority? And then in California, all the Latinos we got out here, all the Hmong we got out here. Okay. That means that white people dwindling, but go ahead.
We've lost this dream, Orfield said later. Adding that we've tried everything else to make separate schools equal, with spending hundreds of billions of dollars on high poverty schools through Title I.
Okay, hold that right there. Sister Javon said, and we are dumber than ever since being integrated into their educational structure. She also goes on to say, even if we are segregated, they design the educational material. And finally, she says, since we are segregated, can we embrace and control our education? See, I think there's a misconception that when you are segregated, that somehow you're lacking something, but that's not true.
Right.
I don't know how to say that to people. That's not true. Because look, white males are segregated and they're the most powerful group we got.
Yeah.
Asians are segregated. 7 out of 10 homes in America is owned by Asians.
Right.
I mean, Latinos have their sections of town. They're doing pretty well.
Right.
Black people have been in every nook and cranny of America, and we still ain't got shit. So I don't really understand what does segregation mean? Equality is very different than segregation.
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being. Sometimes you need to segregate yourself. That's like if everybody, I don't know, is smoking cigarettes and I don't smoke. Do I go integrate the cigarette room because I want to feel like cigarette smoking people should be with people who don't smoke cigarettes? Like I don't understand. Or the bathroom, like all of us should have I don't understand that.
I think that segregation, you mentioned all of these people that are segregated and how they're striving and thriving. I feel like segregation comes with a certain level of responsibility that we have to really contend with, because all of those segregated communities, they all think in the mindset that we have to service our own needs.
Wait a minute. You talking about responsibility? That's a scary ass word, Dana. To be responsible for your life is scary. Because you know, some of us, we get scared as shit when you start talking about responsibility. When you start talking about doing things without white people, we're Mr. Tom. Because I don't think that Raheem and them is capable of doing stuff. And you know, like my uncle used to say, the black man will buy his ice from the white man who bought his ice from the black man.
Right.
Like, because we think the white man's ice is colder.
How about that?
I grew up hearing that. My uncle used to talk about that all the damn time. Boys be like, oh God, his damn ice. But I got it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, See, this is why I think I don't know. Like, I mean, I agree. I agree. I just think it's a play on words because to make us feel like we're missing out on something, and we tend to be in worse situations than we've ever been. Cops shooting your ass wholesale. Black politicians raping you wholesale. I mean, it's just like everywhere you turn in this system, we are being screwed, and we're just supposed to take the shit like we slaves. I mean, not or enslaved, or that's a part of being that's the American way you have to pay your dues. It's your dues you have to pay to be in America. So I don't know. I think having equality, because they also say blacks do better when they're educated with each other.
Right.
That's another damn stuff.
And by each other, and that's the big part too. Is by each other.
Yeah.
Right. So when they're talking about schools that are segregated, but they're not mentioning the fact that these black children are being taught by white women who will at some point, especially for the black males, begin to fear them. And so they're going to teach and handle them very differently.
Are they going to fear them, or they dreaming about it? What's
well,
look,
once they get in high school, those
so yesterday on C-SPAN, yesterday on C-SPAN,
I can't.
hold on. Yesterday on C-SPAN, there was a woman who wrote a book, and it said, "Do you know that 40% of slave holders in slavery time were white women?" Ooh, that's on record.
I believe that.
40%. Sister Javon goes on to say, segregation is force, separation is a choice. That's not like a slogan for a campaign. Segregation is force, separation is a choice. The power is in separation.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe that, because if you're trying to build something, you can't have the motherfuckers who are not builders with people who are builders.
Right.
Because you won't get nothing done. You can't make a person build. So you try to find like-minded people to build some things. And to me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. Right on, Javon. I believe that too.
That makes sense. And then also too, about separation, sometimes you just need to separate to focus on yourself. And I think that
discrimination.
No,
I'm messing with you.
Black people really do need to focus on themselves, because we got some issues that only we can work on. Like, and a lot of it has to do with accountability. A lot of it has to do with I'm not going to say that other races don't have mistrustful relationships in there, but I think the mistrust that we have in our community causes us not to build at the level and the rate that we're supposed to do. So I don't know, maybe we need to study and see what other, like, how are you able to build and not, and still have those personality issues or whatever. Jewish people build. Do they all trust each other?
No.
Like Asian people, do they get into it? But they build. And I think that we have to have that mentality, like we either build or die.
Yeah, right. You see Sister Danielle's comment? Because I'm gonna go for a watch party. And
that's why you got.
Yeah, that's why I see
that's why
Javon,
you can
because
see
she's on a
it.
watch party.
Oh, got it.
So
okay.
So she said
Danielle is saying it's still segregated. It now the teachers are white. They were black under segregation, at least at my mom's school. She said it was different kind of love, attention, and dedication from black teachers.
That's real talk.
Yes.
I agree with that. And Javon's on the list. She's watching on the watch party. I'm sorry. That's what she's watching on.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right. I do think there is something to that. And I think as we look, but I also think there were some people who really bought into that we can't do nothing without white people.
Right.
Let's just say, like, hey, y'all get good books, we deserve good books. That's equality. That's not integration. Just because you sit next to white people don't mean that their skin will rub off on you.
Right.
What's that saying in the soldier story? When the man they had that officer and the soldier story.
Not an officer.
No, soldier story with Denzel Washington. Caesar, and he said, just because you with the white folks don't mean they gonna rub off on you. And I think sometimes we think being with them mean we will get the same service. But what my uncle used to say is, when you're with them, all of them will rub off on you, even their ways. So when I see us doing shit that we don't do shit like that. We joke about that, but this is not about a chance I want to be able to do whatever white people do. It's like, if they raping their mama, we start raping our mama. Like, we learn shit sometimes that's not healthy.
Right.
You know, like we used to didn't snort, we didn't take acid. Like, you know, we may get some weed or whatever. But when they started, you know, I know black people who really was using that. What was the white drug that white folks used to use in the country? No. I'm talking about the acid or something like the shit that eat your skin up.
Spice or something.
I can't remember, but it's something. It's something that usually
black people usually just roll it up. They just roll up and smoke weed.
Yeah.
But
what I'm saying is, when you're around them, some stuff rub off. That's what I'm saying. Some stuff rubs off on you. Yeah. So it ain't just that you think you get their education. You get all that other unhealthy shit that they do. Right. And then you bring that stuff back into our community. And then be like, oh, this is what I learned from white people. You know what I mean? But we don't equate that. We try to equate that to the black experience. No, that's what you learn when you went away to that Ivy League school. And you want to sit next to them and be Heather. With no underwear on. You know we wear underwear. You know, goddamn it, we wear underwear.
Right.
You see Colette's comment. You see Colette's comment?
Yes. She said this is exactly why our women's circles are for women of African descent only. There are times and places where we need to be with our own to express ourselves openly and honestly. And then Danielle says, my mom always said integration was not the end goal, but having the freedom to go associate where we want and equally in public investment.
But can we hold on? And I agree with you, Danielle, but that's look at that for that's really good what you say. Because I think it's one thing to have freedom of whatever you want to do. But here's the thing: we got Buffalo Wings talking about they don't want to serve black people. That you can freely go in there. You know, why would we? Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings is not wanting to serve black folks. We have all of these places that have certain things on the books where they don't want to help us. Right. So what's the use of having freedom? You know, when it's almost like an illusionary thing.
Right. That's true.
When they want you like speak right, stand right, sit right. It's like they were trying to make us little imitations of them. That's one. Number two, I feel like they had no intention of giving black people back what they stole from them. Now I'm talking about their mind. They're not trying to say, you know, since we robbed y'all, took your language, your culture, you know, inside the curriculum, maybe we could teach y'all an African language or something. They had no intention of giving that back to us because their job was to erase us and make us them or their products, like a good dog or a good cat or a mouse or a little rabbit. Like they were trying to make us like little niggas, you know, like, hey, do what I tell you to do. Nigga, if I say sit down, nigga, you say, where do you want me to sit, man? I say, you want me to sit on the pavement? Where you want me to sit at? So I think we got to look at that. I do think that black folks, I think we were saying integration because we thought that meant equality. But equality means exactly what it means. It's not interchangeable.
Right. They're not.
Because we're so-called integrated, but we're so unfair right now. You can't even call the goddamn cops like to, you know, I lost my cat. They show up and shoot you and save the cat. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I know we don't want to talk about that.
You know, that's a harsh
reality. But Buffalo Wild Wings staff said they refuse to serve black customers. What the hell is that?
Yeah. Okay.
I hope we don't try to go there though.
That's what I was going to say.
Because I don't know, it'll be people there trying to fight to go there.
Because we want, see, that's a sickness though. I think that's.
I just don't want to be nowhere with nobody don't want to be.
The church is starting next door, and I swear they playing. I know I seen you on the radio. True. I know you seen me on it. They gotta stop trying to make these hip hop songs.
You hear that?
Hey, but that's straight up.
Why she said they gotta
True.
Why she said she gotta
give me some attention. She's a hoe. She's a freak. Kind of different dudes every day, every week. Then I turn that to a Christian song. Y'all, I'm sorry I got distracted by the church.
Right.
I'm sorry, I straight up got distracted.
What did she say? She said they gotta get the children in there somehow.
Like the Pied Piper. Oh, we got comments. You gonna kill me? Hold on. I'm sorry, I got distracted. So Ian Colette said, okay, she got hers. She said, Lord, have mercy. Please don't let any other white rub off on me. I love my black skin. Sister Danielle says, right, equality is not integration. We should have used integration as a measure. We shouldn't use integration as a measure of progress, but a measure of equality and equal,
Equity.
equal and equality. Right on, right on.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear CJ?
And Javon says,
Okay.
and if you eat that food, you are crazy.
Yeah.
They have a special plate for us,
With
and
spit
we
on
will
it.
still eat it.
We don't see that. Nah, I don't see that kind of.
Because
she
she's
can't-
no longer
she's
in the.
talking.
She,
Oh, you said
yeah, she's
okay,
going
good.
back
Thank you,
and forth.
Javon, because I'm like, I'm trying to make sure you included. Yeah, but I mean, tell us about the Buffalo Wild Wings. You got that up on your thing? What you got up there? The Buffalo Wild Wings?
y'all
No, don't worry about it.
I'll go
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
I'll go
forget.
back there.
So instead of going to Buffalo Wild Wings, this better not be in Chicago no damn where. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna cut some people out if it's in Chicago. But let me see, because in Chicago, all the black, they got salon restaurant. They got all kinds of stuff in Chicago. Y'all better not be going to goddamn Buffalo Wild Wings. Y'all give me a call. You see some black people Buffalo Wild Wings. You let me know. It ain't. Don't worry about it. 'Cause I think I just snapped that.
Oh,
But since we're
man.
on that conversation, these people are constantly giving you signs that they don't want you to be rolling with them.
Right.
I just don't know what it's gonna take. I
Right.
just don't know.
Just be okay with it, because that's what I'm talking about. Separation. We need to
Be okay
focus,
with it and spend your money somewhere else.
and we need to focus
So-
on ourselves.
So speaking about rubbing off, yeah. Speaking about rubbing off, 'cause I gotta bring this up. So I guess in Missouri House of Representative, rape could be consensual.
Man,
Y'all,
I'm not
Okay.
bullshitting.
so
So I can't make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff. I'm not capable of making this stuff up. Like, I mean, I just not. But Dana, tell us about that. Dana gonna read that while
Go
I
ahead.
fix the mic.
a Missouri House member said rape can be consensual. A female colleague quickly corrected him. During the Missouri House debate on the abortion bill on May 17th, State Representative Barry Hovis
Oh, not very.
State Representative Barry Hovis said the vast majority of rape cases he encountered as a law enforcement official have been situations of date rape and consensual rape.
What the fuck?
Hovis later told reporters he misspoke. Yeah, you had to walk that back.
ignorant. Misspoke.
We know what he
How
like
you
to do.
misspoke?
We
Yeah,
know what he like to do.
and if y'all like it rough, that's fine. But don't confuse that and say, because rape is a real thing.
Right.
Right on.
Oh, we got too much
Right.
stuff.
They're doing that. They're doing that. They're just trying to control the coochie. That's what they're trying to do.
But this shows you their value on women. That's
that
ultimately
too.
what it shows you. That there is no value on the
None.
woman's body. But again, this is thing about culture rubbing off on people.
Right.
You sitting next to this fool in class, you know what I mean? We're talking about date rape at colleges. The first time I heard that back in the day was people in white institutions. That's how I first heard about it.
Yep.
I'm not saying black people don't do shit. Please don't get it twisted.
Oh, yeah. No.
But I'm just saying, usually white people do something. They have a way, like they raped our ancestors and made that shit like a law.
Right.
Like it's really okay. The slave woman, she don't mind. She don't mind. She your property. I do with my property as I please.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you talk about rubbing off. Y'all better
That's
connect
it.
some goddamn dots.
That's it. Y'all watch Django.
I'm glad she corrected his ass though.
Yeah, I'm glad. And I'm glad that he walked it back. It's just like, how could the world could you?
See here.
But you know what? I guess, I don't know.
There's
You
no
can't
walking that
understand. Yeah, you just can't understand it. That's just something I can't understand.
There's no walking that
So-
back. The words are out there.
So I know we talked a little bit about school. So there's been a black mom who's been banned from a school because of her daughter's bullies. And I'm gonna be honest, I probably would have did some shit like that.
You know what?
I mean, not to that degree. I would have did something. I don't know what I would have did, but you just can't be. And I guess
You
it was like a
can't
bunch
watch-
of white boys and stuff. You just can't be doing that kind of shit to people's kids. Like,
Yeah,
that's not okay.
you just can't
Yeah.
do it. It's making me think about my coworker. We were coworkers a while ago in San Francisco, and so some people was messing with her child on the school bus, and so instead of coming to work that morning, she stayed at the school bus stop and got on the school bus and told them that she fight kids.
Hey.
And
I
she
mean,
came to work. I said, "You late?" She said, "Girl, I
I
almost went to
I
jail.
had to holler at these kids real quick.
Why I had to let them
Yes.
know?"
So tell us what happened.
Okay.
I did see the video, by the way. She like she was putting people on notice. Yeah.
School bans black mom after she confronts her daughter's bullies. Okay, when Christian Tinsley, this was in Laguna Niguel, California, when Christian Tinsley learned that her daughter was being bullied and sexually harassed at school,
What? Yeah,
sexually
that's a little
harassed.
different.
She instinctively wanted to protect her child. However, when she confronted her daughter's bullies, the school responded by banning her from the school property. In a video reportedly recorded by a student, Tinsley can be seen at a classroom in Niguel
And the
Hills,
teacher just standing there too. Just ain't saying shit.
in Niguel Hills Middle School, issuing a warning to students she believed had been bullying her daughter. The enraged mother said, "She's a girl and y'all are boys." You know, it's scary now, but you really have to tell young boys that. Before, I think it was a given. You don't hit girls. You don't fight girls. If you bully my daughter, if you look at her the wrong way, she said, if you look at her the wrong way, if you breathe the wrong way, send your moms to me. Sisters, aunts, anybody over 18, I'll fuck them all up. You understand me, girl?
I didn't wait a minute.
That ain't funny, but
She did
she
not
was
rape the
heated.
kids.
She could have said, "Catch these hands." No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Well, she didn't really run up on the. She
No,
just said,
I
I would send your mama.
She was
She's like,
she
I'm
did
not
like a
talking.
presentation. She was very classy about it. She did that as a presentation.
Go get your mama.
Basically, go get your mama.
Exactly. I'm not gonna talk to you. My daughter has informed me of what you're doing, so now I need to talk to your mama.
Catch these hands.
Tinsley said her daughter has been targeted for racist and derogatory harassment and bullying for months. That day had been her final straw. After seeing her daughter cry before being dropped off for school and begged to just stay in the car,
Yeah.
she made a comment to me that if she wasn't as strong as she was, she would have killed herself.
Oh,
No.
See, that's yeah.
Tinsley told CBS Los Angeles that when Mama Bear mode went into effect, that's when absolutely. I get it.
Me too.
Because you don't know where that last button is.
That's true.
Right? It could have been, because her saying that, it could have been that day. When you come home from work and your child hanging in the car.
one of the questions I do have is, what did the school do about that? Because she been a little white girl named Heather. They would have did some trainings. They would have to talk to the kids, because it's a value piece.
And the mother would have been consoled.
Definitely that. Definitely grief counselors would have been brought in or whatever. But I also know, and it is, and I understand where the mom's coming from totally. I probably would have been on some other shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like, is it worth sending your kid to a school you think is good and there's no reflection of herself in it? Black folks gotta stop sending their kids out to slaughter. Now, I'm not disrespecting the mom. I think she did what she think is right. But I think and there's something wrong with us when we think being with white people and then get mad when they act who the fuck they really are. Honestly, then we will be like, I'm heated. And it's like, but dude, you know these people are some motherfucking monsters. Because we've been with them all this time.
Right.
So we really know who we're dealing with. And so it's just like a catch-22. 1 minute it's like we want our kids to have the best, and I totally get that. But the other part is, how much abuse can your child take?
Right. And how do you not feel that you can create the best for them?
Because that means she may have to take some time off and do some things herself. See, I don't have a lot of respect for people. Yeah, right. Right on. I have a lot of respect for moms who homeschool and really their kids. I have a lot of respect. I'm not telling you funny. But we be worried about making the money so your kid can look the part while they get damaged. So we like a pretty glass, but in the inside, we are just as effed up as you can think of. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not saying that the mom, she did what she had to do, but the other part she may have to do is figure out what's going on with her daughter, maybe homeschool or do something else. Put her in an environment where people treat her with some respect and love. Yeah. I'm not going to send my child off to the wolf den, and when the wolf start acting like a goddamn wolf, we're going to get mad at the damn wolf. Right. Like, come on. Because there was any black boys in that class? And she said all boys. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the situation is. Right. And I get the thing, her needing to defend her daughter, but I also think, y'all, we might have to start taking a little bit more responsibility for where we send our kids to be educated at. Right. And should be loved and nurtured. Because that time of your life is when you're supposed to be nurtured as you're learning.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So we send our kid off to the best white school and then wonder why they can't connect when they get out in the world and why they struggle and why they take abuse and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And we kind of send them to the school of abuse.
Right.
Right. You're right.
I don't
about
know.
that.
Maybe I'm tripping.
No,
Me and
you're not
Colette,
tripping.
you know?
I need to admit something.
Uh-oh.
No, because my daughter, she asked me, I think she was probably maybe 13 or 14. And she asked me and my husband if she could be homeschooled. And of course he was like, yeah, she needs to be homeschooled, but I was gonna have to be the one to do it. And you know what I did? I chose my career over that. And I feel bad because she struggled and had social issues, and always constantly getting into it, and getting into fights and stuff like that. She did well academically, but socially she had issues. And I just wish that I would have had the mindset or the wherewithal to be, to consider her request. Because if somebody asks you to be homeschooled, because to me, I would think that's something that's happening.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I have an utmost respect too, bro,
Yeah.
for people who homeschool their children, because I know it's a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it is.
But it's worth it because it's your child.
Right.
That's so true.
I know.
Ia Colette has a comment.
She says, we have got to start educating our own children.
Oh,
What makes us think those who have oppressed us for more than 400 years are suddenly going to educate us? Hell no.
oh, she said it like Oprah Winfrey in Color Purple.
Hell no. We all know what that is.
Okay.
Hell no. No, I agree. Sister Maureen Craft says we also need to look at the HBCUs. Maybe send our kids. That's why some people go to HBCUs too.
Right.
To
Yeah.
be around their own people. And from what I know, some of my friends who have gone loved it, had a great experience, and some of them said it was just they just wasn't comfortable being around many black people, and they didn't have enough clothes to go to a black school. I don't know. I never didn't have enough clothes. So you know what that's about. You know how black people do social constructs, and some of us, not all of us, but for the most part, some people go because it's a way for them. The two brothers yesterday, at the college for a grant. Both of them went to HBCUs. The other one went to Grambling. I can't remember where the other brother went, but I know they're all graduates. Their other studies was at an HBCU before they went to Harvard or something like that. So anyway, so I do agree. Like there's some experience that you get from being around black folks. And I think when you're around us, you gotta love us because Lord knows we ain't perfect, but you just gotta love us.
Right.
Plus, we got a lot of innate trauma, right? If it's true that trauma is passed down in the DNA, I mean, we got issues, so we gotta be patient with each other.
Wow. So let's look at Sister Stacey Abrams. You see her article at the top. I think I went too far. I went down.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is our dear sister who ran for governor, and keep going. She ran for governor, and she ran for governor of Georgia. And I could have sworn the sister had it in the bag, but I don't know. This is never going to set something up where they're going to lose. I'm just going to be honest. I know we love to believe in rainbows and shit like that, but tell us what's going on with Sister Stacey Abrams says being a black woman in politics isn't some fatal diagnosis. Tell us about that. What's going on with that?
So Stacey Abrams, who is 45, that's a young governor now.
She's not a governor. She ran. She didn't.
No, right.
Yeah.
I mean, but she would have been.
Nice.
Stacey Abrams, 45, ran as the Democratic candidate for governor of Georgia in 2018. She was the first African-American woman nominated to run for governor by a major party in any state, and the first to deliver the State of the Union response. Previously, Abrams served as minority leader in the Georgia House of Representatives. She is a lawyer and the author of several romance suspense novels as Selena Montgomery. As well as the memoir Lead from the Outside.
All right.
In your book, and you describe just showing up to and they have in parentheses, Spelman College Board of Trustee meeting while a student there. Why did you crash it, and what did they make of you? Okay, so this is an excerpt from her book, so I'm not sure of the context. I did not understand why my tuition had to go up every year. I did not understand why financial aid did not keep pace with tuition. So I showed up to the meeting. When they allowed me in, the person I sat beside was a partner at an investment firm. I didn't know what an investment firm was, but he was very kind. Everyone was. He let me sit beside him and shifted his notebook over to me. And I'm looking at all of these numbers. I had no idea what I was looking at. And he leaned over and started explaining financial statements to me. Then there was the highest ranking woman at Coca-Cola. She started telling me things. And the president of Ben & Jerry's. They saw it as an opportunity to educate me. And I was just so hungry for information. I was listening and learning so much so that over time, they forgot that I sort of barged in. They started telling me when the meetings were. I know that's right. And I eventually got my own notebook. Sitting in those board meetings was incredibly eye-opening. It showed me that these things weren't impossible to know. And you didn't have to be to the manner born to learn. I don't know what that means. You just had to work harder. Okay. You talked about people not coming on board when you decided to run for governor, or saying, don't you think that's a little much? How do you handle that, especially with someone you're close to? Okay, this is an interview. Well, if I'm going to do something, I ask for information. I seek out input, but I don't ask for permission. I know that's right. Because either it is something you intend to do or it is not. That sounded a little bit Yoda, a little bit like Yoda. If it's something you need to do, why would their response vitiate your determinations?
Okay, so hold it right there. So I think that's pretty good. I'm not exactly sure of where Black people and Black women in particular really stand in the nation's politics. So some people say everything you do is political, and I get that. But when we talk about a political party, someone shared with me yesterday that that Black folks need to start their own political party. That the two parties that we have aren't worth nothing. I don't know, because I don't belong to either one of them. I'm an independent, so I vote my conscience.
Yeah.
I don't follow party lines. Helping middle class bougie Negroes does not help poor Black folks. To me,
Right.
I'm not interested in sitting at people's tables without power. I mean, I've always been at the table, whether if I was serving or cleaning up or someone's guest. But I mean, I want to be at the table and bringing something. I don't think my power relies with them. I think we have this really kind of messed up, and we really think that they somehow have power that we need them to get. I look at other groups who are here, and they're not even up into politics like us, and
Right.
they have their own sections of town and communities.
Yep.
I just don't think that's the answer. But I respect people who, if that's what they want to do, I respect the fact that she ran on her agenda or whatever she did. I always like, we give everybody else a chance to fuck up. Why not give us a chance to do whatever we want to do? But it doesn't mean that I have to take a party line.
Right.
And I'm just not interested in people fucking me without my permission. I'm just not interested in that. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, I even say it like that, but it's true. I think there's a misconception that if we ain't with this person, that somehow we're not valuable. Who the hell said that this person was valuable for me?
Right.
You know, everybody don't want to be Michelle Obama. I love her though. Some people want to be Condoleezza. Shit, I'm not. You know, I don't know even one of their asses, honestly. Some people don't want to be. Some people want to be left alone. So I feel like, see, the thing of the Black role is you can really govern yourself without having other Black people in your circle. You really don't need each other, really, if you're not a part of the collective. Some people are okay with being out on the branch or being by themselves out in the field. Even though we do this thing where it's kind of like when I hear Black people say they're worried about how racism has affected white people. I'm like, how the fuck you worried about them and your ass is fucked up? I just don't. It's like me cleaning your house up and my house is filthy. So I don't know. I feel like it's good to keep up with politics, but all of this shit is a politrick. Because the only thing that's gonna save black folks is black folks.
Exactly.
Only person that's gonna make you clean up in front of your goddamn house is you. The only person that's gonna really care about how your child is being schooled today. Because here's the other thing, we'll have shit like this that happen, and I don't hear any of those black people talk about that personally. But you let some white kids get shot up. Black people be the first one there, talking about how sorry they are, having their hashtag save the whatever, God save France or whatever. But we have shit happen every day in our communities, and our so-called black heavyweights or whatever, tallest trees in the forest, they have no opinion on this shit. They really don't.
None.
So it's a false sense of that you're taking care of black folks, because you're really not. You're really taking care of your own ass. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong as hell. But as long as I've been around, I've watched classism, educationism. I don't know what else you want to call it. I just want to call it what it is. That you don't really speak for the people that you claim you're speaking for.
Right.
And you don't value them.
Right.
Because if you did, it would not be just one of you.
Right.
You would be coming from a tribe of you.
Right.
But that's just what I think. And I have a lot of respect for the sisters. I do all of them. I have respect for Michelle Obama, all of them.
Yeah.
I love them, but I'm not ever so in love with people that I can see what side, where we really fare with each other. And sometimes it's okay to know that, hey, we are drawn together by certain things, and then other things, we're not. Like these kids treating an 83-year-old custodian like a true king on his final day.
Yeah.
Now here he is. He's a custodian or a janitor. I don't know what the difference is between maybe the decades. Maybe the decade. It's like a stewardess and a flight attendant.
Right.
But here's my thing. Here's a man who's been giving service for 83 years to our children, but I don't see none of these people in these high-ranking official capacities saying anything about this man, who impact more minds than these people will ever do in the Ivy Towers.
Absolutely.
The people who are on the front lines with your kids and with your elders and making sure they get on and off the bus or working the car, we don't ever give them kudos because we don't think they're important. But if they don't take care of our kids, you wouldn't be where you are.
Right.
And I think, even this story is like, wow, kids are basically picking up this 83 years old. This man is still working. 83.
Right.
I know some people who ain't worked 83 days.
Right.
In a row.
In
their lifetime, bro. In their lifetime. Tell us about the janitor sister.
Okay. Kids treat 83-year-old custodian like a true king on his final day. Custodians retire all the time, but Mr. John is different. John Lockett had a send-off fit for a king. He worked for the Carroll County school system as a custodian for more than a decade, but that was only after a long career in construction. He's now going into retirement. Custodians retire all the time, but this one is different. He's at work every day, no matter how bad he feels, with a smile on his face, says Sand Hill Elementary Principal Carla Meeks. To the children there, he's more than a janitor. He's a positive role model who has a warm heart. Almost a grandfather at school, says Megs. The kids like to give them hugs. The students call the 83-year-old Mr. Johns. He's worked for 2 schools during his 12 years with the district. About 6 of them were at Ithaca Elementary, and the rest of his time was spent at Sands Hill. These kids mean the world to me, Mr. John said. I come here and try to clean their school, and I try to do it right because I know germs and disease is out there. Wow, that is so nice because the school bathrooms, some of the school bathrooms be atrocious. The students and teachers in Sand Hill showed Mr. John how much he means to them on Friday. I was surprised to death, he said with a smile. He was celebrated with Mr. John Day. They draped him in a cape and gave him a crown. He had no clue what was about to happen. They told me to be here around 1:45, he said. Me and my friends was like, he's the king, said Sand Hill third grader. Oh, that is so nice. They handed him a basket and walked him down the hallway collecting cards from all the students as they chanted his name. His wife of 25 years was there. She was also in on the secret.
Wow.
That is so
That's
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And when you're not
Wow.
he didn't proclaim himself as king.
Right on.
These children proclaimed him as that. And so that
Right.
means a lot.
Wow. So to me, those are the real heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's to me, that's the real
Right.
hero. And I hate to say this, but I bet you when people are doing their politics, they're not even considering this brother.
Right.
He don't
Yeah.
make the
But
list.
just think about like the life-changing conversations he's had with these children.
Yeah.
Because it's more than in him cleaning the bathroom,
Right on.
clearly.
Yeah.
So you know that he's had some conversations with these children and made them know how important they are, how loved they are. I mean, so it's way past the capacity of his job, even though, you know, she mentioned that, but for the children, that's how they were able to choose to say that about him. They haven't said anything like that about teachers.
Usually the custodians be pretty cool.
Yeah.
The housing school I had, you know, they're the ones who are who have the ear of the young people more than you do.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they
To
know
be
all the
honest with
stuff.
you.
Yes.
They know when there's problems at home,
Yeah.
when there's problems
No.
in school. They know they probably know when it's about to be a fight.
Right.
Like, yeah, they probably know a lot.
All of it.
Yeah, yeah. Which brings me to this next article. I'm not sure if that's on here. It's talking out loud to a dead loved one is actually good for you.
Oh,
And I believe that.
I believe
I
that.
do that.
I believe that wholeheartedly. I don't know if that's up there.
No, I don't see it.
No.
That was
My mom used to talk about her dad would go out on the porch and call out the names of her dead relatives.
wow.
And he would be like speaking to the wind. They say he would go out and just be like, out in the yard. And I'm like, okay, keepers of tradition, because he probably seen, his people do that.
Right.
But it's because I think they're trying to tap into the memory or to the spirit of the person. It's not like you're talking to them in the physical.
Right.
Yeah, I think is that you're trying to talk with the spirit of who they are.
Right.
You know, whenever I get in a tough situation, I always think, what would my mom? Mom, what would you be doing? You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at her example. I think when we have a society that wants to control every goddamn thing you do, they'll try to make you seem like you're crazy. When we know that that's not true, I think it's very healthy to talk to your ancestors.
Right.
I think there's nothing wrong. Hell, we talk to gods that we don't know is real. Because somebody left a damn book.
Right.
Some say many books. Some say some of the books ain't even in the book. I mean, I'm just saying we'll make up mythological people and then get mad when people don't think shit is real.
Right.
So what's wrong with talking to your ancestors? I don't really I don't understand why would somebody deem this crazy? And I think it is healthy for you to reach out to them. Because
Right.
the planet is full of nothing but energies.
Yes.
We just get convoluted
Yes.
when we see things in the flesh sometimes. Sometimes our physical body makes us so limitless in what we can grasp.
Right.
Because we want to put everything in a box or in a person or, one time somebody said, why does the image of Jesus, why is that important? I'm like, what do you mean, why is that important? You know why it's important.
Right.
Ain't no white person gonna be bound down to no black Jesus. If it didn't mean nothing. There's something about bowing to the image of yourself, which help you to be in a higher place.
Right.
Yes.
With yourself and to see yourself in a better way. So I think it's absolutely healthy for you to talk to your loved ones who've made the transition. Like I don't even say dead. If you tell somebody whoever wrote this probably not into that.
Right.
I always say it's okay to talk to your ancestors and your loved ones who've made transitions on. But I don't think they're dead the way we think about being dead.
Right.
I think they are just in a long sleep or the physical body has been
The
laid
body-
down.
Yeah. The
But the
physical body
spirit is still there.
Yeah.
It's
I
still
believe that.
there at all. What y'all think about that?
I think it's extremely important. I do it often. I'm learning to be more intentional and like not, I don't know if haphazard is the word, but just coming off the cuff. So just learning to really spend time in that space so that I can make that connection because I know and I'm learning more now that is an important part of how I move. Right on. You know, it's an important part of how I move. Yes, I'm a Muslim woman. Yes, I attribute to, there's one God. A Muslim is one who submits to God and different things like that. But I also of the belief that all of this is presented to me so that it can help me to ascend to a higher place so that I'm constantly growing, that I'm constantly being able to connect with the creator, which is also in me. Right?
Absolutely.
It's also in
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And then being able to tap into some of the stuff that we go through is because we don't tap into what our ancestors have already been through.
I agree.
Yeah, if I can sit my ass down, be quiet, and say, all right, Annie Ruth, how the hell do I get out of this? Right? Because you have some memory of something that happened that kind of looked like what you're going through. I don't need to repeat it. I don't need to do that. I kind of want to just hit the steps so I can just kind of, bypass that punch in the eye or that kick in the gut. I'm serious.
No, I agree. I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like as Black people as a whole, that some of us have lost our ways to our ancestors. And we struggle with that.
Yeah.
We struggle because we're in a world that's going to tell you to make other people more important than who you really are.
Right.
Every day in your life, you have to consider everybody else. And it leaves you no room to respect or love your ancestors wholeheartedly.
Right.
And so I always say religion could be it could be a tool to your enslavement or a map to your liberation.
Right.
Khalid Muhammad used to tell me all the time. And I think sometimes it can almost be like a tool to your enslavement because the tools that you need to activate whatever your belief is or your spiritual traditions, you don't even know how to do that.
Right.
You just don't. You really feel like you need somebody else to tell you
what to be doing.
What is important, what's not important, why is this important? I think about all the people that we've known that were slain over these last couple of days. I think about all of those people who a veteran died and the whole town came to this man's funeral because he didn't have no family.
Right.
There is something about back in the day when people would die and they would do the procession on the street, people will stop and take their hats off and stand as a sign of respect for the life that has been taken or that is being laid to rest. I don't see people pull over
on the highway. When I was growing up, even on the highway, when you saw that procession and you knew right away because you saw the cop, then you saw all the lights on.
Right.
People would pull over and stop. Not slow down. Pull over and stop until the last car from that procession had passed.
Yeah.
Not trying to outrun it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait because you think they might go turn on the same street you turn right on. But pull over and stop. And if you're sitting outside in your car and one drives by, you turn your music down. Even the thugs would do that.
Right. Yeah.
But now they just try to outrun it and
I just feel like it's just so much stuff going on, period. I'm a Black woman, and I was a Black girl. So for me, that's my immediate concern. But I also look at, Black males, Black females, Black, anybody from I'm saying the letters because I don't know all the letters. But I think if you're a Black person and you're of the Black nation somehow, I am concerned about what's happening with you. But I want you to be safe. Whether I agree with what you are or not, everybody has the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
That's right.
And I feel like sometimes we got to understand what that means and not do this political bullshit.
Right.
There's something about politics that just don't rub me the right way. I just rather be with people who are honest in whatever it is that they believe and not have to, just not have to say what's politically correct.
Right.
I think everybody has the right to
to live and to be okay. You know, I feel like if I don't like that people smoke, I don't hang around you when you smoke.
Smoking.
And
Right.
that's okay. That don't make me better than you or
Right.
whatever. It just means I ain't into that shit.
Right.
And that's okay. You know, that's like hanging around people who think it's okay to be in the gang. I mean, maybe that's where they at right now.
Right.
I'm not with that, so I'm cool. I think we have a hard time being able to meet people where they are. Because we want to make everything so political. And I'll say this, I think a lot of people who are trapped in black skin, I think they are a hindrance to black people. Because they don't know the rules of nation building. You know? They're 100%. You ain't never lied. No, where I grew up at, it's like you have respect. Even if you didn't like the person, you still have respect for them.
Yeah.
You know, we don't even know how to remove ourselves. We think that sometimes in the black world, first of all, we're not inclusive at the table. And I don't care what table it is. If we talking about straight people, we ain't inclusive of gay people. Talking about gay people, they ain't inclusive either.
Right.
I worked for a woman who was gay, and they were just more fucked up than the woman that was straight. No, I'm serious.
Wow.
I'm so serious.
Yeah.
It has some real hatery going on.
You would think they would be more tolerant.
Because people said about black folks, we would be more tolerant. You know, everybody at the end of the day got their standards. That's what I know to be true. So it's kind of like sometimes they're not like that because they're fighting to have the will of the oppressor. So what will you do with it once you get that power? You know, so I've been around a lot of things. I've been around Christians who feel like if you ain't going to church or you ain't like, and I'm not trying to be funny. I probably get this more from Christians than any other group. They're so inclusive they're so intrusive with their religion. Right. And they don't even consider there's other people in the room who are not Christians. Right. So just make it about, just say, you know, in my that's why I say in my tradition, I'm not trying to push my shit on you. Right. But we really struggle with that. You know what I mean? And so it's like, hey, if that works for you, that's great. But you can't say you ain't gonna do something because you ain't a Christian. You don't get to say that. I mean, you can, it's your right. But you have to put me in that shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like we have a lot to learn just in terms of ancient knowledge and wisdom, which I think is common sense. I don't think ancient means you need a goddamn PhD. I think ancient means you just need to study and pay attention to your ancestors and how did they make it through a culture that was constantly on them, constantly trying to make them not be themselves. How did they make it through? And I always think about that. I've been in a lot of places where I have not been the majority. You know what I mean? Including being with black folks. Right. You know what I mean? I ain't talking about white people. I'm talking about when you're with black folks and you know the way you think ain't like the way they think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit is hard.
Yeah.
It is. It's nothing to do with white people. I don't even trip off them because I don't really, it ain't that deep for me with them. But I know it's been extremely hard to be with black folks because we have this way of acting like we don't respect black life, even though we get pissed off when other people don't respect us. Right. And see, that don't even sound nice the way I said it, but we know that's you know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, how do we do that as a people? How do we do that? So I am happy to say this. I do know in Sacramento, we got so many things going on. I'm so psyched up. So a few things is that this week, this thing didn't really take all my stuff. Oh, yes, it did. Hold on. So the Capital City Juneteenth Celebration Festival, family, friends, food, concert, and lots of fun is coming up. No, Juneteenth is coming up. So I'm going to try to get some of these events on here. So we got the Capital City Juneteenth Celebration Festival, family, friends, good food, concert, and lots of fun. That is coming up. I think Angie Stone is going to be there, which is like, okay, Angie Stone. Okay. Hold on, sis. And so she's going to be there. Let me see who else we got that's going to be there. I don't know half these damn people.
Jodeci going to be there.
What? Forever, lady. Oh, yeah. All right, they're going to be in the house.
That is
Casey and Joe. Is it going to be Casey and JoJo or all of
it's just going to be Casey and JoJo.
Okay, the two brothers.
The two brothers. At least that's what the thing said. But that is that's what we wanted to hear, right? Girl, I was going to say something else. But yeah.
Who else is going to be there?
Oh, I forgot the other person.
I can't tell everybody's name, but I got other people up on there. I don't know. Because I couldn't put all the stuff up on there. But they're coming. And they're going to be there June the 21st to the 23rd. So that's a weekend thing, I guess. So it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, so black folks, there's stuff for us to do now. Don't get it twisted.
Now.
There is.
They doing something at Meadowview too that Saturday. Right?
Okay, so I do know that they got the Harambe Festival. That's coming up, and that's on June 22nd. That's also the same day as the Black Women's March. I'll be at the Black Women's March.
I'm gonna miss it all. I'm gonna be in Atlanta.
How dare you?
I know.
What? Yeah,
I
so that's
know.
going to be at Meadowview. So one is downtown. This one is going to be in Meadowview, celebrating community diversity, Harambe. You know, so we got that going on. Then also, we also going to have Sister Kayla will be here. It's Brother Keon's event. And this sister, let me see, I'll tell you right now. Okay, so this pop-up. Sister Kayla is going to be here. I think hers is called Love and Lipstick. Let's see, Love, Lipstick, and Let's Go. Women's National Empowerment Tour. So she's going to be here, and I don't see the date on this. Keon, don't kill me. What's the date? Can somebody look that up real quick? I usually have the little chorus in here, but I know it's in June. Y'all, please forgive me.
Okay,
Yeah. So let's see what her thing is, but we got to check this sister out. Brother Keon is working to bring her here, so we want to check that sister out. I don't know if I even be around. So I'm getting ready for this road trip. So I got a bunch of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, bro. When do you leave?
Yeah, June the 25th.
Girl, my phone is active. I'm gonna just text Brother Keon.
Okay. So if you go to his page, well, I don't know to be fair to find on his page. So I love Brother Keon, but to be fair to find on his page. Okay, so that sister's coming. So we'll find out more about her. Let's see what else we got going on here. Sacramento's just full of stuff going on, y'all. Full of stuff going on. You know, we also have, and I'll skip around, the Black Excellence. Every year I do this Black Excellence with African American students throughout Sacramento and El Grove. So come together on this Wednesday, and we will be celebrating all the Black graduates as much as we can at Health Professions. We do this every year. And it's this Wednesday, and is this Wednesday. And what was I going to say? We're going to have soul food, Caribbean food, and African American food. So come out, y'all, and celebrate our young folks. I think we got to celebrate them.
When is that going to be?
That's going to be on Wednesday night at 6 p.m.
This Wednesday?
This Wednesday, yep, at Health Professions. And then also we got, what's going on down here? Also, support Brother Tim's Healing Circles.
Oh, yeah.
This brother is the bomb, so I don't get to say that as much. But, you know, I got to figure out how to get the whole thing here. But he does a healing circle. Mm-hmm. So support Brother Tim's Healing Circle. Send them young people his way. Right. Let him do some healing and love on your young folks. I think there is something very powerful about our young people being able to do that. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you know, we have Brother David Banner coming to Sacramento at Health Professions as well. And that's an event with Brother Voice of the Youth. Oh, God, help me out. Voice of the Youth. Oh, okay. So they're coming. And actually, it's Black Blueprints, Living with Nature, presents a message to the Black community featuring David Banner. This is Black Business Sunday. So it's actually Saturday. I mean, it starts at 3 p.m., June the 9th. And basically, they're going to have all kind of vendors and all kind of stuff out there. And then Brother David Banner is going to speak. And if you want more information, reach out to Black Blueprints, 916-949-9026. So we want to support those kind of events because I come from the era where Black folks did do a whole bunch of stuff and then we got kind of sleep. So now that we're starting to wake up the sleeping giant, you know, we want to make sure that we definitely support Brother David Banner coming. And then also we got the Quality of Life road trip coming up. So I'm doing really good on fundraising, thank God. It's a lot of damn work, but I'll tell you, I'm going to do something different. But next year, so we have the Quality of Life road trip, and I have some amazing young women going on this trip. Nice. From Burbank, from Health Professions, from Rosemont, and I believe from, I want to say, not West Campus, but it's the other school. Oh, God, I can't remember the name. It's a school that's almost like West Campus. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have it for y'all next week. But we'll be gone for 30 days. And this is the 9th annual Quality of Life Road Trip, empowering journey of 6 African American women, young ladies of 16 to 18, traveling across the United States, 25 states, 25 cities, and Canada. And so we'll be gone from June the 25th to July 26th, and I'll start handing out the dates and what cities we'll be in because we'll be hosted by a lot of people.
Right.
It's a great pleasure to do this trip because I love it when I empower girls. When you empower girls, you empower a nation.
Right.
And so that's my motto. That's who I first and foremost want to make sure, gets what she needs as well. So, yeah, family, the church is over here getting it in.
Yes, they
So
are.
it's all good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And then I just kind of wanted to put this part up here called unity. And I love this quote. And the quote is, unity of the people can bring down a system, any system. But it's how do we get there? So I think we're going to have to probably talk about what does unity really look like
Mm-hmm.
and what is the variations of unity.
Right.
Because sometimes, unity could be all shopping at one place. Unity could be just speaking to everybody and making people feel good. There's something about feeling connected that I think sometimes we really, really struggle with. So I am really, really struggling with that. So we're still trying to raise like $7,000. So I already got the first set, almost in the bag. So I'm just down. Somebody asked how much. And then I'll send that link. She asked how can we give. I'm sorry, sis. But I didn't put that link up there.
Right.
So that you guys can all support it, that you can support. So I'm really good. And then next year, I'm very excited to announce that with my girl empowerment classes that I've teamed up with some other Black women organizations to basically help me to go into 5 high schools and do a class period just for Black girls.
Nice.
And I've got some
That would be beautiful.
into it. So there'll probably be girls who are juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
But really trying to prepare them for what it means to go out in the world and all the other stuff too. So there'll be economics, politics, soft skills, life skills, interacting with other girls. But these are women coming from different organizations and fields, so they're committed to teach one class a month. We'll rotate so at different schools. So it depends on out. Because I feel like we have too many Black women not to take care of Black girls.
Right.
We'll take care of everybody else but our Black girls. And that's I'm just going to be very serious. We have a lot of our Black girls who are really struggling. And mainly because, we just don't see them as being important. I don't know because they don't have a penis. I don't know. But whatever it is, I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to connect people into what we can do to empower our girls. Because if you want to really impact the nation, you gotta start with the right. You just got to. Because she's the one who's going to, take care of the baby, carry the baby, the whole 9. So that's what's going on. I want to give all those shouts out to people. Sacramento's on fire. Yeah, we is doing some stuff up here from the north to the south to the east to the west. Yeah, we is on fire, and in Elk Grove. You know what I mean? He's doing good work. Go ahead.
Sorry. So Brother Keon's event is going to be Father's Day, Sunday, June 16th, 5 to 8 p.m. at the Brick House Art Gallery.
Hold on, I'm gonna put that back up again. Hold on. Okay. When is that event?
That event is Father's Day, Sunday, June 16th. 5 to 8 p.m. at the Brick House Art Gallery.
Right on. And the name of that event is called Love, Lipstick, and Let It Go. Women's National Empowerment Tour. Sorry, featuring #1 international viral spoken word artist K-Love the Poet. So dynamic poetry, impactful self-reflection, conversations and manifestation, lipstick bar, MUL, the giveaway, and complimentary wine. Right on. All right. So hey y'all, reach out, and that date is gonna be Father's Day. What, June
16th.
June 16th. Get your tickets now. You can go to Eventbrite and get some of these K-Love poet tickets. Support this sister, support this brother, and support our community. Right.
Brother Keon say he got 20 tickets.
Okay, Brother Keon said he got 20 tickets. So if y'all wanna holler at Brother Keon too.
Yes.
All right. So. So y'all, we come to the end. We right at we got 5 minutes left. What you got coming up, Dana?
I'm happy to announce that I'm launching the girls equivalent to Boys in the Hood. We're going with young girls a little bit older. We're going to 11 to actually 17.
Right on.
And that's going to be going every first and third Wednesdays at 6:30 to 8 o'clock over at on Valley High. Center Parkway, 7833 Center Parkway, I want to say. So we're excited about that. And of course, Boys in the Hood is every second and fourth Friday. And just working on a lot of things with regards to business development and definitely literacy. So yeah, and supporting people in the community.
Right, okay. Cool. What about you, Dr. Strong? What you got?
Well, as always, inviting everyone to tune in to Tea Time with Dr. Camille Strong on Etta Radio, which airs Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. and then again at 9 p.m. And you can do that via the Live 365 app and type in ETTA. The other thing I have coming up is so you guys save the date and get ready because we haven't put out the promotional yet. But again, save the date. September 14th, we're doing a homeostasis conference with Miss Lisa B. And this is where we're going to be looking at the mind, body, and soul. That's going to be September the 14th, and it's going to be held in San Leandro, California, from 1 to 5 p.m. And again, the promotionals will be coming out. But I do want to put out there that those of you who have businesses, we're also in the work because we're going to be creating an anthology workbook for the event. But we're also going to have a place in there where you can do advertising. So we're doing full page advertisement that goes for $100. So if you're interested in doing a full page ad, you can contact me via this Facebook, direct message me, however you want to do it. And we're also looking for vendors. And so that is September the 14th in San Leandro, California. So yeah, check us out. I'll be putting out the information again for the tickets and all that great stuff. So that's what I've been concentrating and working on. And those of you who follow me on Facebook, via the support of my dear sister Ro, with all the things that has happened over the last couple of years, I finally pulled out my sewing machine.
Yay! Loving the sewing machine.
Yes, and so we are allowing our creative parts to Jesus to flow in that area, and so because it's really about tapping into what you're good at, right? What you enjoy doing, and then allowing it to create streams of income for you. And that's what we're working on because I do believe in having multiple streams of income. Just because I speak, teach, or whatever, then there's other ways that I can, get it in, and plus it allows me to stay closer to home, and I'm kind of liking that right now.
Right.
I'm kind of liking being domesticated.
Right. It's a beautiful.
Right on. I also want to give a big shout out to Sister Javon Muhammad. She has the 7 days of Juneteenth in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and this is probably the only event of its kind. 7 days is a countdown. They have stuff like healthcare, and they got all kind of events going on during the whole night. And then on Juneteenth itself, it's on the 19th of June, there will be fireworks.
Nice.
Like you celebrate the 4th of July and fireworks be going off. That's going to be happening at Juneteenth in Lake Charles. So that's where I will be. I will celebrate with my folks down in that area and support Sister Javon and the work she does, which is incredible. So anyway, y'all, hope y'all enjoy your day and have a great week, family.
Have a great week, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.
Peace.
Hey.
All right. Okay, it's off.
Are we still live?
No, I gotta do the other one.
Okay.
Bye, y'all. So silly.